during your time as a Navy SEAL in the SEALs, you earned the nickname Cyborg. Where did that come from? What did you do to earn that?
That's funny. Where did you dig that up, by the way?
I do my research, man. I can't spread my sources.
Well, I get, it's honestly, I don't remember who initially gave it to me, but nicknames are pretty common. In fact, everyone's got a nickname. If you don't have a nickname, it's just kind of weird. But it came about because I was just like relentlessly, physically, like I was extremely physically fit, but also, I was unbreakable. Like I just did not experience pain, when everyone else was just getting, just getting completely spent, needing to take a break. I would just be like, just powering through, right? Especially
Hmm.
on, long weighted rucks and runs and long swims. And all of that was, built upon a long history of endurance athletics prior to the SEALs. And I went in the SEALs at 25, and I'd already been a triathlete and a
Hmm.
competitive swimmer and a competitive rower in college, and I was a martial arts black belt, so I understood suffering.
Hmm.
And most SEAL trainees and SEALs do, but for some reason it's probably related to childhood abuse. I didn't experience pain the same way. so so first one guy called me Ox.
Yeah.
And I was like, that didn't stick. And someone else came up with Cyborg because I think they thought I kind of looked like a cyborg too. So there you go.
So so they give you the nickname Cyborg. You said you didn't experience pain the same way. You're just your threshold was higher. You were just used to experiencing more pain than these guys, so it
Okay,
registered
so
lower.
10 years ago, I would have answered it this way, that it was my mental toughness that was honed through my Zen training, which I started in the martial arts, but I took up Zen, like specifically Zen, not just like little meditation before and after class, which is pretty common. So I started a daily practice of mental development, mental training, um, which over the course of a few years developed in me this capacity to separate from my thoughts and emotions, not disassociate, but to recognize that thoughts and emotions are happening to and through this being, this body mind, but they weren't who I am. So I had the choice. It's like one of my favorite sayings, Chase, is pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional.
Mm, mhm,
So I would notice things, especially during hardcore workouts, or things that I would just do to challenge myself, like run up mountains.
mhm.
I like to run up mountains, or I used to.
Yeah.
And most people hike mountains. No, Mark was going to run up it. And there's a point where you just hit this wall where you're just like, I don't think I can go. And I could see that thought attached to the sensation, and say, well, that's interesting. I know I can keep going, right? I am not that thought or those sensations. I'm something different, right? I'm much greater
Mhm,
than that. I've got much greater potential than that. And so I would keep going. So I would have answered it that way, and that is largely true, right?
mhm,
I went into SEAL training and then became a SEAL already having developed this different relationship to pain and suffering, which allowed me to push through a lot further and longer than my
mhm,
peers. The second part of the answer, though, that I can answer now from my current perspective is that it also had a lot to do with childhood conditioning, growing up in with an abusive, angry father.
mm,
And, he used to whip us with a belt. He's, God bless him. I love you, Dad. And I thank you for that, actually, because I'm not the only one in the spec ops that has that kind of background. And there's
mhm,
some incredible benefits. And one of them is you almost become, impervious to pain.
mm,
I remember in buds, looking at the instructors, and the combination of this ability to like perceive without reacting, which
mhm,
came from meditation. I could perceive that these instructors were playing a role. They were really good at it, at getting under your skin, but they couldn't get under my skin because I had this impenetrable kind of force field around me, which saw everything as this play, as a game,
mm,
as a script being played out. And I was able to choose in those moments to be non-reactive, to be creative with my response instead of reactive. So that combined or built on top of this childhood experience where like these instructors had nothing on my dad,
Mhm.
and they were badass, mean mothers. But my dad, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
really different, right?
Mhm.
And so I was like, you know, I've been here before, but it was worse. So you can't
Mm.
hurt me.
You're
So that's
you're
pretty cool, right? And also the other thing is growing up in those environments. The other great benefit is you develop an incredible sensitivity to your surroundings, which is
Mhm.
very useful in the special ops communities.